Right, the 100 Club, an introduction. There are 4 pillars that underpin the foundations or underpin the 100 Club as a movement. And I'd like to go through those with you quickly today. So that'll provide context, and funnily enough, context, which really is the first principle or the first pillar of the 100 Club. 4 pillars of the 100 Club briefly are the context, connection, channel, and commitment. Well, we'll just go through that again. So the first pillar is context and also the concepts that we need to put our life or our moment or where we are in the context of a bigger picture. Very important. Some of the things that we use to do that are the concept of lifespan, health span, and life stages. But also looking at science-based concepts, leading edge and more traditional approaches and concepts, and also something that gives us a bigger picture perspective. The second pillar of the 100 Club is connection. So as an individual, we have lifespan, health span, etc. But one of the key things that is a determinant of a good life or a full life is the connections we have in life, whether that be with friends, with family, colleagues, work and sporting and community group colleagues, and ways in which we can live in community as both givers and receivers in life. Giving and receivers leads us nicely on to the third pillar of the 100 Club, which is channel, or a channel or a medium or a platform for fair exchange of energy, of value through various forms of energy, whether that be monetary, attention, focus, our time, or variations of, but quite often monetary exchange. We want alignment between the products and services that we use that gel with the concepts and approaches that we think are important and that are recommended or being used by someone in our connections list, or we want to make sure our connections get to use the appropriate products and services that are aligned with our beliefs and our values. This gives us the trusted parties and trusted products. Really a big part of the 100 Club is understanding that it's not all about, we need to live in the now, but not everything about is about having everything and having it now. And it's not, I'll get what I want and to hell with the consequences. It's not about anything like that. All our actions need to be seen in a wider context and be sustainable in that wider context. So the fourth pillar of the 100 Club is commitment. Commitment to act, is commitment. And commitment is normally shown in the actions that we take, and the consistency of those actions represents our commitment. And we've got to act with intent, and that comes a lot from the things that we believe, our belief system, the belief system of those around us, the culture and other systems that all go to set our intent in the moment that we can then act on. A big part of this commitment pillar is finding ways to be able to establish plans or a big commitment a big aspect of commitment is declaring our plans and evaluating our progress, seeing what results we're getting, because that allows us to get learnings, to work out whether we're on track or not with where we want to go, pivot if necessary, and take the best possible journey with the least possible risks and the best possible outcome. Another big part of the commitment pillar is where we provide external witness, or make sure that we have external witnesses, because if nobody sees us in life, are we alive? Basically it's important that we're seen and that we see others in life, and that those others can give us an external perspective on where we're at, and that we can give other people an external perspective where it looks like they're at in the context of their life and in relationship with those around them. So they're the 4 pillars: context, connection, commitment, and channel. In quickly, context and concepts, which are, there's various ones, including lifespan and delving into that, and various elements of the health span, and the various stages of life and the gates in between the stages that we go through, and we'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a moment. Often science, not just science, but science-based approaches are important. So here we're about understanding tried and proven concepts, but we're also about understanding the leading and bleeding edge of what's available. And it's all about getting a bigger picture, a perspective that we can use to make sense of the world around us and our place in it. So the next pillar is connection. Connection is our connection with our community, with our friends, with our families, with our work colleagues and sporting and other colleagues, with nature, with place, where we live, where, all that kind of thing. And it's about connecting in a way that allows us to both give and receive in equal measure. And that giving and receiving in equal measure bleeds a little bit into our third pillar, which is channel. We need a channel that allows us to have fair exchange of value between producers and consumers, or one party and another, a fair exchange of energy, or fair exchange of value for money, or for time, or for our attention and focus, and that has a certain quality that's aligned with the products, with the concepts that we believe in, particularly the ones that we cover in the first 2 pillars. And through that we get a trusted view of products and services and the parties that provide them. And we know when somebody within our connection base, our network, recommends something to us, that we can trust that to some degree, or go with that moreover than people who don't know us and have not shown any real inclination to work in our favour, but more in their own. The 4th pillar of the 100 Club is commitment. Commitment is about intent. It's about the actions you take and the results that you get. And it's about people witnessing those results and observing and offering feedback to us on what, from an external perspective, that might mean. It's also about encouragement and guidance, mentoring, coaching us through situations to get the most out of things. Very, very important. And through all this, through the concepts that we gather, we find ways through our connections and the channels that we use to get information, knowledge, wisdom, guidance, training that allows us to act in the most effective way, and also allows us to see or to observe the results of our actions and learn from them. So they're the 4 pillars of the 100 Club. I'd like to just have another little quick perspective on that, just to make the point that, of these 4 things, it's a very simplistic view, but very powerful. And, within each of these pillars, there's things that play in between them that bring an extra level of synergy to adopting a 100 Club approach. All right, one of the key concepts that give us context for where we're at in life covers the lifespan, as I mentioned. So there we recognise, as a generalisation, but we recognise that we all go through various life stages in what is our childhood, from being an infant, a toddler, etc., through, and we make a great transition at some point from childhood to adulthood, And through our adult life, that we have different stages as well, where our focus is different, our relationships and priorities are and can be different. And knowing that helps us, understand where we're at, where people we know are at, and people around us are at. And, it also helps when we understand that to go through each of these stages, particularly from boy to man, from girl to woman, and then to progress, they're all gateways in some ways. Sometimes our transition from one stage to another is very quick, and sometimes we go back and forward and we're kind of stuck in those zones for a period of time. So it's about life stages and the transition points between. And as we go on, we get to the point where one day or over time our adulthood fades and we become elders, and we go through what is called elderhood. So 3 main phases of life. Only 2, it seems have been focused on or appreciated mostly, and the other one is a nuisance. But when we really understand these concepts, we understand and value childhood and the beauty of being a child. We understand adulthood and the beauty of doing as an adult, and we understand elderhood and the beauty of being an elder and a person of wisdom and knowledge who can pass that on to others whilst the adults are busy doing. A big part of what we talk about at the 100 Club is the fact that we recognise that we all have a nominal or potential lifespan, and we want to maximise that as much as possible. We want to live 100% of our allocated or available lifespan where we can. And in addition to that, not only do we want to live those years, but we want to live 100% of our potential in those years in terms of our health, our physical health, our mental and emotional health, and the health of our relationships, and of our careers and our business, etc. All these things require planning, intent, work and actions. But we need this overall context to understand those things. And just taking that a little further, if we look for a moment at the almost the stream of time, if you like, from the past through to this moment now and into the future, we can think about our own life, where we're at, and the generations who've gone before and maybe who will follow, who've all gone through these 3 stages of childhood, adulthood. At some point, most adults have children, and those children grow up to be adults. And once you've had a child, you go from having a parent-child relationship with people, with your child, to an adult relationship with your child. Moving on from that, as you grow older and they grow older, they have children. The order of this is just general. You get the picture that somewhere along the line, within certain bounds, you have children, the children grow older and they have children, but you have different relationships at different stages that offer that give and take connection between people, and the nature of those changes over time. So the more we understand about it, the more comfortable, at ease and optimising we can be in those relationships, in those connections. Right, and at some point our time will be up, our lifespan will be over, but as we said, we want to extend that as much as possible. So what does that mean? It means it raises some interesting questions if you just accept the topic that we're talking about here. And it raises one of the interesting questions that it raises is, what is your perspective on longevity, on lifespan and health span? So just for a moment, pause, reflect, try and answer these questions for yourself, including being honest and saying, well, have I thought about this? Do I have an answer? How committed am I to that answer? There is no right answer. There's only understanding, reflection and insight and action. First one is, how long do you expect to live? Second, if that's how long you can expect to live, how long are you currently intending to live? And what are the three things that will most determine your success in that? The things that if you just change those, could shift the needle in some way. Next is, how well do you expect to live? How long and how well? And same thing, how well are you currently intending to live? And what is it that you're doing that shows that intention, that allows an external witness to observe the actions that you're taking to live that long, live that well? And if you were to do three things, or if there were three things that would most influence how well you live, what would they be? So that's a quick overview of the 100 Club and the 4 pillars that underpin the 100 Club movement. In order for you to find out more, we'd love for you to visit our website, www.100club.live or .live, and have a look around, have a poke around, take the opportunity perhaps to join, perhaps to offer some of your insights and thoughts and feedback into what we're saying, and start a connection between us. Other forms of connection between us, you can go to Facebook, YouTube, find us at 100 Club Live, Instagram at 100club.live, and 100 Club Co, Twitter, and of course, and very importantly, and exciting for the future, is our connections into the enterprise world through LinkedIn at company/100 Club. Look forward to hearing your views on what we're putting forward today. This is part of our launch of the 100 Club as a community, a platform, and as a movement, and we would be very keen to get some learning, some input, some insight and observations from you, because what you think is extremely important to us and will help shape the immediate directions of the 100 Club. So thanks for listening to this point. If you were to go to the 100 Club now, I'll put a link below in here. You'll be able to see a little bonus that's available to you if you have got to this point, and only for those who've stuck around. So we'd like to offer that to you, and enjoy. Thank you. Bye.